welcome to Cousin DIY. I'm Amy, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this cute little bunny peep, perfect for Easter baskets. So, to get started, you will need a 3.5mm crochet hook, also known as an E-hook, cotton yarn. This is a worsted weight or number 4 or medium weight yarn, fiber fill, yarn needle, optional stitch marker, and then rhinestones, sequins, and beads to decorate. First, I'm going to take my yarn and put it in this pencil holder just so it doesn't roll away. Okay, we're going to start by making a slip knot. You're going to drape the yarn over your hand, wrap it around your 2 fingers, holding your thumb, bring it back up, back around, pull the loop up through the center, insert your crochet hook, drop that loop, pull to tighten, and then pull on the yarn to tighten the loop around the hook. And that's your slip knot. From here, we're going to start chain stitching. So to chain, you're going to take your yarn, go over your hook, holding it in the back, hold the knot, pull your hook down through that loop, and now you have a new loop. So again, we're going to drape the yarn over, pull the hook through, hooking that yarn over and through. That's 2. Yarn over, pull through, that's 3. Yarn over, pull through, that's 4. Yarn over, pull through, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now you have 9 chains. So, for this project, we always chain at the end and then we turn our work. So, we have 8 working stitches and 1 chain. You're going to take your hook and you're going to insert it into this stitch right here. So not the first stitch next to the hook, the second. Insert it in. This is going to make your first single crochet. You're going to yarn over, pull through just that stitch that you inserted your hook into. Now you'll have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops to have 1 loop on the hook. That's 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to increase. So we're going to put 2 single crochets into that stitch. So we're going to look at our next stitch right here, put the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, you'll have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 1 single crochet. Going back into that stitch you just worked in, insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is your increase. We're going to now single crochet the next 4 stitches. So insert, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1. Insert, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 2. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 3. And then last one, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. This next stitch we're going to increase again. So again, that's 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Into the same stitch again, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And then on the last stitch right here, insert, yarn over 1, yarn over 2. You can take that little stitch there and just pull on the knot a little bit to tighten it up. And that's your first row. We're going, and like I said, we're going to chain at the last. So we're going to make one chain stitch. So we're going to yarn over and pull through that one loop on the hook to make a chain. And then you're going to turn your work. This next row is all single crochets all the way across. So we started with 8 working stitches. Now we have 10 working stitches. So we're going to crochet 10 across. It's good to count your stitches as you go so you don't miss one or make an extra one. But crochet is really easy. If you pull your stitches out slowly, you won't unravel the whole thing. So we're going to start by skipping the first stitch closest to the hook. Insert your hook into the second stitch from the hook, yarn over, and make your first single crochet. And then go through. So that was 1. And I didn't mention it, but you're gonna see the stitches look like little V's. So you're actually putting your hook underneath that little V. Yarn over, pull through, and then pull through 2. And this last one can be a little tricky. See, it's coming down the side, so right underneath, and that's 10. Now we should have 12 stitches. We're gonna chain 1 to make 11, but that doesn't count, and turn. So we're gonna go underneath that V again, right in that little space, to make our first stitch. This is the second stitch from the hook, in, single crochet. This is another increase round, so we're going to insert into the second stitch, yarn over, pull through, then back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. Okay, so then we have 6 stitches. We're going to single crochet now. Okay, and then this next stitch, we're going to do 2 single crochets in to increase. So 1, 2. And we're using the increases to help shape our bunny. And then in the last one, single crochet. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stitches and chain 1. That's 13. So next row again is an all single crochets across. So needle in to the second stitch from the hook, single crochet all the way across. my last stitch, single crochet, and we're gonna chain 1, and that's 12. And this, for this section of the pattern, this is our last increase row. So we're going to insert second stitch from the hook, single crochet, into the next stitch, increase, so 1 single crochet in that stitch, 2 single crochets in that stitch, and then 8 single crochets across. And we're coming up to our last 2 on the hook, 2 stitches. So we're going to single crochet twice into that second from the last stitch to increase. And this just ensures a nice even increase. And then single crochet into that last stitch, and then chain 1. You'll now have 14 stitches. We're gonna single crochet across. Again, second stitch from the hook. Just to start, single crochet, 14 across. And then chain 1 and turn. For the next 6 rows, we're just going to continue single crocheting across all 14 stitches. So I find when you're following a pattern with increase and decreases, it's a lot easier to remember where you are. And sometimes if I have the pattern in front of me, I'll cross out the lines that I've worked on. But it can get a little hard to remember when you have multiple rows of the same thing. So I suggest either making tallies or a stitch counter of some kind. You can use beads or whatnot so that you know how many rows you have done, because it's very easy to lose track. So for the next 6 rows, I'm just gonna go continue this and I'll come back when I'm done. And now we're back. So now we have made 6 single crochet rows. So I went ahead and I'll chain 1, and turn. And now we're gonna start doing some decreases. So we're gonna single crochet into that first stitch. And now we're going to do a single crochet decrease. I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through. So now I have 2 loops on my hook. Now, normally I would yarn over again and pull through again, but since I'm doing a decrease, I'm going to put my hook into my next stitch, yarn over again, and pull up a loop. So now I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through 1, 2, and 3. And that is our single crochet decrease. So next I'm going to single crochet into the next 7 stitches. You have 3 stitches left in your row. So we're going to single crochet decrease again. So we're going to insert our hook into that first stitch, yarn over, pull through, leave the stitch on the hook, insert your hook, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. We have 3 loops now. Yarn over, pull through 1, 2, and 3 loops. And then single crochet into your last loop. There you go. Now you have 12 stitches. So chain 1 and turn. We're going to now single crochet 12 stitches across. Chain 1. Okay, so now you have 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so chain 1 and turn. We're going to do our second row of decreases into the second stitch from the hook. Single crochet 1. We're going to decrease now, so into the first stitch, pull up a loop, that's 1 loop, second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, all the way through, single crochet 1, we're going to do another decrease into the stitch, pull up a loop, next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, through, another decrease into the stitch, pull up a loop, next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, through 3. Then we're going to single crochet 1. You're going to decrease 1 more, so pull up a loop, first stitch, second stitch, pull up a loop, and then 1, 2, 3 off, and single crochet into that last stitch. And as you can see, that we've got the bottom of our bunny starting to round out quite nicely. So on to the head. Chain 1 and turn. Okay, so now you'll have 8 stitches and 1 chain. So we're going to single crochet across. So second stitch from the hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1 single crochet, and then next 7 across, so 2, It's always a good idea to count your stitches just in case you're worried. And then chain 1. Now to increase, to make his head, single crochet into the second stitch from closest to the hook. We're going to increase into the next stitch, so that means 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So 1 single crochet, back into the same stitch with the 2 single crochets. Then single crochet 1, yarn over, then we're going to increase again. So single crochet that stitch, and then back into the same stitch again. It's 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Next stitch, the same thing, another increase, yarn over, single crochet 1, back into the stitch, yarn over, single crochet 2, and single crochet into the next stitch, just 1 by itself, into the second to the last stitch. You're going to increase again, one and 2, and single crochet 1 into the final stitch, and then you should have 12 stitches and chain 1. Bless you. Okay, so that is your 12 stitches. We're going to increase again, do another increase row. So we're going to single crochet into the second stitch from the hook. Next stitch, you're going to single crochet 2 into the 1 stitch. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to single crochet across. Now we should have 2 stitches left. You're going to increase into the next stitch. So 1 single crochet, back into that stitch, 2 single crochets. 1 single crochet into that final stitch. Chain 1 and turn. So for the next 4 rows, we're going to just single crochet 14 across. So another good time to do tallying. So that's 4 rows, and as you can see, we've got a body and a head. So let's round out the top of the head and add those ears. We're going to turn our work, single crochet into the second stitch from the hook. We're going to decrease again. So first stitch, pull up a loop, leave it on the hook. Second stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops. Yarn over, boom, 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 through 3 loops. Now we're going to single crochet. we're going to decrease again. So into the first stitch, pull up a loop, leave it there. Into the second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over through 1, 2, and 3, and then single crochet into the last stitch. You have 12 stitches now, yarn over, and we're going to single crochet across for 1 row. The alternating increased rows and non-increased rows and normal rows help to shape it, to give it a nicer shape than if you just keep increasing and decreasing over and over and over again. You're going to have kind of like straight lines, whereas if you do it with an increase and then a straight, you kind of get more of a gentler curve. And again, it's always good to count your stitches as you go, out loud, in your head. Have a friend do it, doesn't matter. But you always want to make sure you have the right amount of stitches. Oh, and sometimes you pick it up so that when you get to a part where the stitch count matters, like the ears, you don't have a wonky rabbit. Okay, last stitch and chain 1 and turn. Another decrease round to shape the head. Into the second stitch, single crochet. Second stitch, insert hook, pull up a loop, leave it there. Second stitch, insert hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops, 1, 2, 3 to decrease, 1 single crochet. Again, decrease, first loop, pull it up. Second stitch, pull it up, all 3, decrease again, first stitch, pull it up, second stitch, pull it up, pull 3. Then single crochet 1, 3 stitches left, decrease again, single crochet 1, pull it up, single crochet 2, pull it up, 1, 2, 3, pull through, and then single crochet into the last stitch, and then chain 1 and turn. You'll now have 8 stitches, so we're going to do another straight across row of 8 stitches. And chain 1. Look at your work. You have a rabbit head. Yay! On to those ears. We're going to increase 1 row, and then we're going to separate into the ears. So we're going to increase, so we have 10. We have 8 now, we're going to increase to have 10. So single crochet into the first stitch. You're going to insert your hook into the second stitch, crochet 1, back into that same stitch, crochet 2 to increase. And you'll notice you always, for the most part in this part of the pattern, we crochet into the first stitch and we increase into the second stitch just to give it a nicer edge. And then we, at the end of the row, we increase into the second to the last stitch and single crochet the last stitch. So crochet to the last 2 stitches, and it goes the same way with the decreases. You single crochet first stitch, you decrease into the last 2 stitches of the 3 stitches, and then single crochet into the last stitch. Okay, we have 1 stitch, 2 stitches left. We're gonna single crochet twice into that stitch, the next stitch to make an increase, and then single crochet into that last stitch. And now chain 1, we have 10 stitches. We're going to break off into the ears. Turn your work, and you're going to crochet 1 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you crocheted 5 stitches and you should have 5 stitches left over. Leave them alone, pretend they're not there. We're going to work on them later. You're going to chain 1 and turn. Working in those 5 stitches, we're going to decrease and increase to make the rabbit's ear go like this. So you're going to single crochet to pull up a loop, because we're going to decrease into these 2 stitches. So pull up a loop into the next stitch, single crochet in, pull up a loop. You got 3 loops. Yarn over 1, 2, and 3 to decrease. Crochet 2 single crochets, 1 and 2 in the next stitch at 2 stitches, and then the last stitch we're gonna single crochet twice. So 1 and 2. You can already see it's starting to V over. And then we're gonna single crochet across after we chained and turned. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then chain 1 and turn. Again, we're gonna decrease into these next 2 stitches to help make our V shape. So insert, pull up a loop. Next stitch, insert, pull up a loop. 3 loops on the hook. 1, 2, and 3. Crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and to the last one we're going to single crochet twice to make an increase. 1 and 2. So you'll always have 5 stitches for the ears, and then chain 1, but you increase and decrease so it'll lean. So we're going to make another row straight across. Chain, so we chained and turned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're going to finish the ear. We're going to chain 1, finish 1 ear, turn. We're going to count 1, 2, 3. So we have the chain stitch and then we have our regular stitches. So starting from our regular stitch, we're going to count 1, 2, and then the third center stitch is what we're going to work into. So we're going to insert our hook into that stitch, skip the other 2, pull up a loop to make 1 single crochet. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in that same stitch 2 more times. So 1, so that was 1, this is 2, and 3. 3 single crochets into that stitch, and that'll round out your rabbit's ear. Insert your hook into the last stitch, skip that middle one. Insert your hook into that last stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, but instead of yarning over again, pull the loop through. This is a slip stitch, and pull it out and cut the yarn. And leave a little bit of a tail. Don't worry about tails, we will weave them in. That's the great thing about toys, is that everything goes inside the fiber filling. But you can see that we now have 1 ear. So cute. So, starting back, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna just go back into the fiber fill. So we're gonna start to insert our hook. Take your loose yarn, a little bit of a tail. We're gonna put our hook into that stitch right here where the other stitch is coming through, and pull it through, holding it in the back. Pull up a loop. Hold it in the back with your fingers and just hold it kind of tight. and we're going to crochet into the next stitch. What I like to do when I have a tail like this to kind of hold it in place is I'll cross it over the hook, put my yarn over, and then since it crosses over, the yarn crosses over, I'll put the hook under that tail, pull it through, just like you would a normal crochet, and then pull it through again to finish your single crochet, but it holds it in place. So you can do that again too, to help cement your tails in place. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, then next stitch, yarn over, pull through, that's 3, 4, and 5. We're going to chain 1 and turn. So we're kind of working backwards now. We're going to do the same as we did on the other side, but mirrored. So since we're on the outside, instead of decreasing here when we start, we're going to increase. So second stitch from the hook, single crochet 1, single crochet 2, then we're going to crochet the next 2 stitches, and that was in the same stitch so that you had your increase. Single crochet the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to decrease, so single crochet, pull up a loop, single crochet, pull up a loop, you got 3 loops, and then 1, 2, and 3. This ear is getting in the way. It's okay, you could fold it over, it's fine. Chain 1, turn. Crochet straight across again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sometimes you really got to push your hook into that last one. Chain 1. Turn. We're going to do it again to make our V, so we're going to increase to the first stitch. So 2 single crochets into that stitch, 1, 2, and then single crochet 2, 1 and 2, and then decrease. So insert, pull up a loop, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, pull through, and then chain 1 and turn. And this is our last stitch to do across the 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Same as we did on the other side, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to go to that third stitch, insert our hook, 1 single crochet, back into the same stitch, 2 single crochet, and then back again, 3 single crochets to make that kind of fan rounded shape into your last stitch. Yarn over, pull through again to make that slip stitch. Pull out the yarn and cut the tail. Again, don't worry about hiding your yarn right now because it's all gonna go inside. Pull it tight. So now we've made one rabbit. So cute. So you'll need 2 of these for this project. So I've already made my second, so it's good to make them one after the other. Here's our second. And it's okay if they're a little bit different or a little bit, one looks like a little bit bigger. As long as your row count is basically the same, you should be fine because we're gonna use the rows to make our edging. So I'm gonna put one aside for now, and I'm going to do the edging to make that nice ridge that peeps have on them. So we're gonna edge our rabbit. You wanna start by picking the side that you want to be out, and that's the one facing you. So I like this one. So we're gonna insert our hook into this stitch down here, which was the last stitch of our chains. We're gonna put the yarn around the hook, pull up a loop. Now again, we're gonna cement it in place. So to pick up the chains, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a half double crochet. And we're going to go into the lines, the holes of the lines, so the edges to pick up the stitches. So you're gonna insert, you wanna hold that tail tight. You're gonna insert you're gonna yarn over. You're gonna hold that tail tight. You're gonna yarn over. Then insert your hook into the stitch. Yarn over. Pull up a loop. And then just like when you do the decrease, we pull through the 3 stitches, you're gonna pull through the 3 stitches. Now what this does is it basically creates a V on both sides so that later when we go to when we go to crochet the border, we'll have a nice V on both sides so it looks finished on both sides. So again, the next stitch, we're gonna go into this next opening, yarn over, into the stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over again through 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna half double crochet all the way around. So the places where you're really looking to insert your hook are at the top and the bottom of the stitches. So here, right here, right here, right here, right here. So basically there'll be, wherever there's a bump, there's a top and there's a bottom. You're gonna insert your hook into the top to make one, the bottom to make 1 stitch, and the top to make 1 stitch. So the next one, we're gonna yarn over, insert into that little space. You can pull your stitches apart a little bit to see where you want to insert it. Pull through, yarn over, through 1, 2, 3, single, half double crochet again, and we're just going to keep half double crocheting around. So into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, 2, and 3. And I'll show you right now. See, we have a V on this side, and then we also have a V going on this side. So that we'll have a nice edge to go around. So you're gonna pick up about 90 stitches around like this with the half double crochets. If you don't have 90 stitches, it's not that bad. Just you want to make sure that your stitches are like evenly spaced so that you don't have puckering or there's not too many stitches in one place and not enough stitches in another place. So evenly distributed. But if you pretty much keep to the in between the row bumps, you'll be in a pretty good space. So we're gonna keep going around, half double crocheting around. when you get to the end of your first row, you're going to insert your hook into that first stitch where your stitch marker is, pull through one loop and pull through two loops to make a slip stitch. Remove your stitch marker. Chain one, replace. Now we're going to single crochet as we did before into that next row. So insert single crochet one, place your stitch marker in that chain one stitch, and then single crochet around for another row. And then the last stitch, we're going to slip into that chain stitch where our stitch marker is, and remove the stitch marker. So now that you have the ridge around your rabbit, you're going to see also that you have a little bit of puffing outness, so you can have some nice dimension. We are going to add our second piece. So get your second piece, decide which side is your favorite. I think it's this side because this side has a string coming out of the center, but we'll hide all the strings inside. So while you're crocheting this around to connect them, you're gonna make sure that all your strings are tucked inside while you crochet. So we're going to line up our rabbit at the same location as we had previously put our rabbit that we're working with. Since the row counts are the same, and we're going to slip stitch those together. So you're going to go through two rabbits, pull through all the way and slip it. Since the stitch count should be all the same, it should be relatively easy to figure out where your hook should go in. So we're going to go into the next stitch, and then look where your hook is going to get a gauge. So this is where our last stitch was, so we're going to go right into here. So we're going to go right into here. So we're going to go right into here. So we have a lot on the hook currently. 1, 2, and then 3 things basically on the hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through the front and back piece of the rabbit. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and single crochet them off. And then again to the next one, into the next stitch of the first rabbit. Look at your second rabbit, the next place where it would go, lined up, yarn over, pull through the front rabbit and the back rabbit, yarn over, and pull through into the next stitch, and then we'll show you how it's looking. Look where your next stitch is, in through the back rabbit, yarn over, back rabbit, front rabbit, pull through, 2 stitches, yarn over, single crochet. And as you're going, you'll see that you have a nice ridge, just like you have in the front here, going for your back rabbit, so your rabbit will look nice on both sides. We're going to keep going around until we get to the end of this side, making sure we tuck all strings inside as we're crocheting so they live inside of the rabbit. When you get to the end of your rabbit, right before the chain edge, we're gonna stop. You're gonna pull out your yarn so that you have a rather big loop. That way that you don't accidentally like lose your loop. And you're just gonna leave it and put it off to the side. Now we're going to fill our rabbit. So make sure that any extra edges that you might have hanging out are tucked inside the rabbit, or I should say bunny. Okay, and then we are going to fill it with fiber fill, and we're going to put some beads in the bottom so that it's a little weighted. So first we're going to put the fiber fill in. Okay, so when we have all our beads in, we're going to take our crochet hook again, get back in there, put it back through the loop, pull on the yarn so that the loop is again tight to the crochet hook. Woo! It's trying to escape. And then put this crochet hook into the first chain, the first stitch of the one side, and then through the chain of the other side, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through again. So that's one single crochet, and this is how we're going to close our rabbit. Keep going, picking up one from each side of the rabbit, one stitch, and single crochet across to close. When you get to the last stitch, pull it through and then slip to close. We're going to pull up the loop nice and long on this one. We're going to cut it. Put that off to the side. And we're going to pull it through. Now, to finish, we're going to take our yarn needle. We're going to put it through the yarn through the needle, put it in to the bunny. Pull it through, make a loop. Pull it through again just to make a knot. And then we're gonna lose the yarn inside the rabbit. So you're gonna push your needle in, push it all the way through a good amount, feel for the needle, pull it through a random spot in the rabbit. Ah, get back out there. Pull it up, fix it at the bottom, push down slightly onto your bunny. Snip your string, let go, smush it around. Now there is no tail. And you have one finished peep. Okay, now it's time to decorate. I have some sequins, some Swarovski crystals, and some beads. I also have my leftover yarn and my yarn needle. So, and we have some crystal glue. So, we're gonna start by adding some eyes. I'm gonna take my crystal glue, put it on my crystal, and then place one eye, and then two eyes. And I really like these because they're small, just like a real peep. So cute. Now you can see it already has a little bit of a personality now. Maybe we'll add some sequins to the sides. We do a little line of crystal glue. So now he's nice and sequined up, and maybe we'll throw on in here some pinks in his ears with some pink Swarovski crystals. And to finish, I'm going to give him a quick necklace using pink pony beads. So you can take your leftover string that's already on your yarn needle and string on as many pony beads as you want. And there you have it. That's your peep. And now our peep has a friend. They can be basket buddies. So happy. Well, I hope you enjoyed making the craft. If you make this craft, please share it on Instagram with our hashtag #CreateWithCousin. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.